Maryland women's basketball season has been a roller coaster ride. Devastating injuries to several key players, long winning streaks combined with long losing streaks, and finally, a surprising early exit in the Big Ten tournament. We'll detail how it all happened and the Terps' outlook for the rest of March here on the Left Bench in Focus.
Welcome back to Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terps and Sports Central. I'm Aidan Currie, he's Christian Andriolas. We're looking sharp in suits, as you can see, but metaphorically speaking, we got the orange hoodies on today. Talk a little bit of Maryland women's basketball.
Yeah, Aidan came to me last week and said, Christian, do you have an orange hoodie? I realized I didn't know what he's talking about until today when I saw it on the rundown and realized his writing skills really came in handy in that open.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Here we go, let's get started. Maryland came into March red hot, going 6-1 in February, but it finished the month off with a blowout loss to number 8 Michigan, and it didn't get much better in the Big Ten tournament. It was deja vu to its January loss to the Ducks, as Maryland collapsed in the fourth quarter once again, but it didn't start that way. The Terps jumped out to an early first quarter lead thanks to a combined 6 of 6 shooting and 12 points from Malucci Okanawa and Izzy Mamadou. Oregon got within 1 at the break. Okanawa scored 9 of her game-high 27 points to give Maryland a 6-point lead into the fourth quarter, but then came the collapse. Maryland was outscored 21-11 in the final frame and fell 73-68, marking the first time the Terps have missed the Big Ten quarterfinals since joining the conference and putting its chance to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament in jeopardy.
It was a streaky season for Brenda Frese and co., marked by high highs and low lows. The Terps breezed through non-conference play, starting the season 14-0 and climbing as high as 7th in the AP poll. But injuries stacked up throughout the early months and caught up with Maryland once it reached the bulk of Big Ten play. It started with a loss to Illinois on New Year's Day, foreshadowing an adverse January in which the Terps went 3-6 and lost 4 straight to end the month. A February turnaround, though, saw 5 straight victories, 2 of which came over ranked opponents on the road. But as we mentioned, a lofty defeat at Michigan to end the regular season, plus the tournament loss to Oregon, leaves questions ahead of Selection Sunday. And Christian, you and I may be at the desk today, but we're also members of a different desk, the Diamondback Sports Desk, to be exact. And with that corny transition out of the way, we welcome our DBK colleague and women's basketball beat reporter, Faith Harris. Faith, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Excited to be here.
All right, let's start off with the game against Oregon. After a 6-game winning streak, Maryland has now lost 2 games in a row. Do you get the sense that they're limping into March?
Christian, I think they've been limping through the entire season, honestly. When you have a coach like Brenda Frese assemble a roster where 4 people go down, especially 3 who could potentially be starting members of any Big Ten team in the season, it's really hard to reconstruct your roster mid-season and kind of go forward with that. So I think at this point in the season, the Terps are just kind of fighting with what they have. They have a good freshman class who's ready to step up, but it's going to be really hard when, once again, the frame of your roster just got demoralized and crushed in the beginning of the season.
And you were there in person for the Oregon loss last week at Gainsbridge Fieldhouse. What was kind of the vibe you got from the team after that game?
Yeah, definitely just demoralized, but ready to bounce back. I think having a loss like that twice to the same team, like you guys said, like Free said, deja vu, really can be crushing to the soul of a team, but I think they're ready to bounce back. Hopefully their seniors can have these better, stronger performances. Poffenbarger and Garzone both really slacked that day, but I think if you compare that with a come up from them, and like Malucci Okanawa said, she closed out the press conference saying that they are ready to use this as fuel for NCAA. Personally, I believe her, but her teammates need to show up alongside her to keep carrying that forward.
Yeah, and we've mentioned a lot about the injuries. They've been a major story for the past 2 seasons, and Maryland has had a pretty early exit in the tournament for the past 2 years, of the Big Ten tournament rather. But last season, they still were able to rebound a little bit and give South Carolina a run for their money in the Sweet 16. But do you think this season's injuries are too much to overcome compared to last season's?
I think this team can get out of its bracket, but I think if they make it to 16, it's not going to be like South Carolina. It won't be a close game to get out of that. I think just, like I said before, having that depth really be hit like that, it's really hard to get out. I think hosting privileges would help them a lot. They are on the border of getting a 4 seed, 5 seed. We'll have to wait till Sunday to see how that turns out. But I think if they can make it that far to Sweet 16, it's going to be an uglier result than last year was.
And as you said, we have to wait till Sunday to see who they'll be playing potentially. But if they are to make it to that second week in the tournament again this year, who are you looking at on their roster to be that X factor to prompt that run?
To me, it's no question that it's Lucia Kanawa. She scored 20-plus points in 13 games so far this season. Definitely had multiple matches where she was kind of dragging the team into a win there. I think the former ACC tournament MVP is hungry to go into NCAAs and kind of pull Maryland alongside with her. So I'm excited to see if her performance can do that with the Terps.
Thanks, Faith. Always great talking women's hoops with you. Should be great to see where Maryland finishes in the NCAA tournament. To keep up with Faith's coverage for the rest of March, check her out at dbknews.com and social media at Faith L. Harris.
And well, we know Maryland fell to Oregon in round 1 of the Big Ten tournament, but what does that mean for Maryland's tournament hopes?
Safe to say they're in, but where they are in the bracket is what matters. TSC's Rachel Lawrence is here to break it all down. Rachel?
That loss certainly raises questions for the Terps' seeding. Now, we know that after the Oregon Ducks beat Maryland, they lost to Michigan in the quarterfinals. Now, UCLA defeated Iowa in the Big Ten championship by 50 points for the Big Ten trophy this year, most likely earning them a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. To me, this isn't surprising. UCLA ended the regular season on a 22-game win streak. Not to mention they swept the Big Ten tournament last season as well. It's important to remember, though, that the last time Maryland women's basketball was a first-round exit from the Big Ten tournament was just 1 season ago in 2025. In that same year, the Terps made it to the Sweet 16 of March Madness. Now, ESPN, CBS, and USA Today still project the Terps landing at the 4 seed of the NCAA tournament. This also means that the first round of the March Madness is likely to take place here in College Park. Now, who the Terps will play and in what region definitely varies. The most recent projection comes from ESPN, who say that Maryland may play against Louisiana Tech in Region 1. Maryland would be in great conference company, though. If ESPN's predictions are accurate, 12 of the 18 Big Ten teams are expected to fall somewhere in the bracket, making them the most popular conference of the tournament. 7 Big Ten teams are expected to earn a 5 seed or above, making 4 Big Ten schools host cities. Competition to host may swing in Maryland's favor, but it's possible that other projected 4 seeds, like West Virginia or Minnesota, might put that in danger. Now the fun part, what I think is going to happen. And personally, I think last year's Sweet 16 appearance was no fluke, and the Terps are headed back there for a 2nd year in a row, hosting round 1 in College Park. However, I do think the Terps might miss Region 1 on Selection Sunday and instead go through Region 2 in Sacramento. Of course, in March, anything is possible, though. Selection Sunday on March 15th may hold something completely different. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Christian, as Rachel mentioned there, if they do get that 4 seed in Sacramento, I don't think the travel is something that you can take lightly and overlook. I mean, not only is it across the country, getting to Sacramento from here is not easy.
I mean, men's basketball did okay last year when they had to go to the West Coast, so maybe they could replicate that, but I don't know, with all the injuries this team has, traveling across the country would be tough.
Very, very true. Well, it's been a fun first block, but we still got plenty more in store. After the break, we'll play Who Said It, dish out our yearly awards, and count down our top 5 plays.
Stay tuned.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Welcome back to the Left Bench in Focus. I'm Christian Andriolas alongside Aidan Currie. And Aidan, I'm excited to see where Brenda Fries and company finish in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, should be fun. And speaking of fun, let's play a quick game to test our knowledge of the team this year, or maybe years past as well.
Yeah, we're going to play Who Said It. Our producers have picked 3 sound bites from throughout the season, and we have to guess who said them. Let's get started.
We're in the basketball in transition, and we're kicking ahead and kind of playing really free, so we just have to continue to be able to adapt and play that way.
Adapt and play that way.
I mean, play that way.
You covered the team for 2 years. I covered the team for 1, so you might have a better idea. Is that Brenda speak?
I don't necessarily. I don't think that's Brenda speak. I
No,
think
I
that
don't
might
think so
be
either.
optimistic personality.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't sound optimistic in our
Yeah.
robot distorted voice. I'm gonna lean towards Alucci.
Yeah, it seems like she usually has something relatively positive to say after a win
Think
or
we're gonna
a
go
tough
Alucci.
loss.
We're gonna lock
yeah,
that
let's
one in?
yeah, let's go with Lucia Kanawa.
We're in the basketball in transition, and we're kicking ahead and kind of playing really free. So we just have to continue to be able to adapt and play that way.
That was
This could be a long game.
Yeah, this
is what
could be
I'm
a long game.
quickly
That is not
realizing.
what I was expecting.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
not what I was expecting either.
Yeah, that's.
All right.
Did that really seem? No, I don't-
Did not sound like Brenda.
No,
All right.
no,
Well,
it
let's
didn't.
get the next one. Hopefully, we
get
can clean it up there.
Really what's important is that we punch back after that. And I think, this team has done a phenomenal job responding to adversity. And really what that's taken is just chemistry and all going back with one another, especially at halftime, and just going back to our basics.
So first one we had pitched way down.
Yep.
This one we have pitched way up.
Respond to adversity.
Respond to adversity.
Optimistic, like you said last
Optimistic.
time.
Could be Alucci again.
Yep.
I think I'm leaning that way again.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like when Saylor talks, it would be more like she's more mellow, and I feel like she doesn't.
Definitely a player.
Yeah, but definitely a player. I feel like it wouldn't be her, and I feel like Alucci talks to the media a lot because she plays very well. So
Exactly.
let's go with Alucci as our answer.
Really what's important is that we punch back after that. And I think, this team has done a phenomenal job responding to adversity, and really what that's taken is just chemistry and all going back with one another, especially at halftime, and just going back to our basics.
Very good. One for two.
1 for 2.
I think we still have an opportunity to
Yeah,
save ourselves
50%
here.
chance.
Let's turn
Can make
it
it
into
to
66.
Yeah, let's get it.
I'm someone who trusts the process and not, gonna rush back. I've had good coaches and teammates who've been giving me confidence on the side when I'm working out, just helping me just stay in the moment has been a great.
Process. I heard the word process.
Process.
I'm not sure what else I heard.
Not progress, process.
Too distinct.
Distinct. Yeah.
I want to say Yarden.
Really?
Post, and I don't know if I get extra points for this, post Penn State game.
Why do you say that?
I was luckily there for that game, thanks to my sports writing class. Shout out Professor Kevin Blackistone. I believe I remember hearing her say that after that game.
Yeah, I'm honestly lost at this answer, so I'm going to trust you, and we're going to go with Yarden Garzone.
I'm someone who trusts the process. I'm not gonna rush back. I've had good coaches, good teammates who've been giving me confidence on the side when I'm working out, just helping me just stay in the moment has been a great help.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed Kayleen because she hasn't played much this season.
Exactly, but our producers did tell us before the game that they were going to make it as hard as possible.
Yeah, and
so
they definitely did a good job at doing that.
1 for 3. Oh well, is what it is.
All right. Now, with all the injuries to the Terps that they have faced this season, several players have stepped into larger roles, but none have done it better than junior Alucci and Kanawa. The Duke transfer leads Maryland in scoring, picking up for the injured Kayleen Schmeichel, who missed most of the season with her knee injury, averaging a career-high 18 points, along with 5 steals, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2.3 steals like the one you just saw. Her scoring average has consistently risen as the years progressed, and she has played her best late in the season, a consistent trend in her career. Okanawa has scored 20 or more points in 6 of Maryland's last 12 games and only scored in single digits 3 times all season. Maryland fans can expect a riser in the tournament. Congrats to Okanawa on being named our Terp MVP.
And on to newcomer of the year now. We considered several names for this, including Okanawa, who we just talked about, but we ultimately settled on freshman point guard Addie Mack. The Minnesota native announced herself back in November when she put up 23 points in 19 minutes to help the Terps avoid an upset against Georgetown. She played her way into the starting 5 by the end of November and remained there for the rest of the season, emerging as one of the Terps' primary scorers. Mac heads to the NCAA tournament averaging 10.7 points per game, looking like she'll be the first Maryland freshman to average double figures since Angel Reese did so across the 2020-2021 season. Congrats to Addie on being named our Newcomer of the Year. And with that, Christian, it's time to get into the best part of the show.
Let's go. Top 5 plays. I'll kick it off. At number 5, we have Aluchi O'Connor with 3 against Iowa to tie it up. A crazy comeback from Maryland. I believe they were down 17 points in this one, but unfortunately it wasn't enough.
And then on to number 4 now. We have Addie Mack, Newcomer of the Year appearance. She goes coast to coast, splits the defense, and 1 layup. Perfect finish from the freshman.
And on to number 3, we have possibly the biggest shot of the season and maybe the biggest win. Sailor, nearly half-court heave, drops, getting reminiscence of Paul George 10 years ago. What a crazy shot, and Maryland didn't score the rest of that game, so that was huge.
And number 2, I'm not sure if we mentioned this game yet, but this was maybe the game of the year. Yarden Garzone in overtime, 3 from deep, and then we have a 2-parter. She hits the layup to send it to double overtime. Super clutch from Yarden. Get another look at it, perfect finish at the rim.
Yeah, great finish by Garzone, but at number 1, maybe an even better finish by Sailor to cap off a crazy 9-point comeback in the final 30 seconds to defeat Minnesota in an absolutely ridiculous game. Just look at the chart. 99.9% chance for Minnesota to win that game, and somehow Maryland still came out on top.
Somehow. Cardiac Terps, taking a little bit from baseball.
Yeah, taking a little bit from baseball, and we saw it multiple times this season with Maryland women's basketball. And, well, that does it for us this evening. Make sure to follow our coverage on Instagram, X, YouTube, and online at TerrapinSportsCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us. Spring break is just a few days away, so no shows next week, but Benji Kaufman and Joni Jansevich will be right here when we return on March 23rd.
Until then, enjoy the weather and have a good one.